Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about tithing. We may talk about a few other things um, that either bothers me or annoys me on this video. We're going to be very short and very sweet. So one of those things are tithing. As Christians, we follow the Bible and we are required to give a 10% of our salaries, whatever it is that we work for, we are required to firstly, take out a 10% and give it to our church that preferably we attend and we are a part of. The Bible says that we are to give a 10% so that there will be meat in the house, meaning that if someone is in need, they will be able to go to the church and get help. They should be able to go to the church and find help. My problem and my problem is that a lot of times what I see in a lot of too many churches is that you take out your 10% and you give it back to the Lord because it belongs to him. But what I have found out is a lot of times when you are in need, there is no meat in the storehouse for you. And what is even more hurtful is if there is supposed to be meat in the storehouse, when I'm in need, when I am in trouble, when there's a cutback on my job and I have to work one day instead of five, when there's a hurricane and I can't go to work because my workplace is damaged, how is it that nobody knows or nobody is aware or nobody cares about what is going on in my life or what is going on in the life of their members? One of the things I that really touches my heart and is it's a real true sign that men or a man or woman is actually of God or sent from God is that they are able to tap into and discern and see the needs of their members before their members even say a word. And so the problem is, and I think too, that have a lot to do, that is something that is affecting this type of behavior in churches is affecting their attendance. I believe that it's also affecting their giving, the members, the way they give, the way they do stuff. Because quite frankly, if I'm always the giver and doing my obligations, what about yours? What about yours as a pastor, as a overseer, as a father? Let's say, for example, if we take this from the scenario from out of the churches and we do it in a home, what about the father? What about your responsibility? The children have responsibility, wife has responsibility. What about you as a father? What about your responsibility to your family? I find a lot of churches in the Bahamas, I don't know if this is happening elsewhere, but a lot of churches in the Bahamas, they want you to bring the money, bring the money, bring the money, bring the tithes, bring your seed offering, your love offering, your first fruit offering, all of these things, but they do not know your state, the state in which you live. and operate. And I think, quite frankly, it is sad. It is very sad to see that people who are supposed to be shepherding you, watching you, miss the opportunity to be a blessing to you, especially those persons who are, is always faithful in their tithing. I was talking to a sister of mine, and I told her, I said, what really irritates me is when I hear people stand at pulpit or wherever they stand in the sanctuary, and they are mad at people. They're throwing jazz at the audience for tithes, for tithing, for people who did not brought their tithing. My thing is, when you see someone did not show up with their tithing, is you could go and ask them about it. Ask them if everything is well with them in their life, in their house. Ask them before you get mad about God money, and before you demand God money, which it's supposed to be God money to do whatever God work is, and not what we want to do with it. Ask, ask the person, ask the members, why aren't you paying your tithes as usual? Why aren't you keeping up with your tithing? Another thing people could also do with their members is teach them about how to manage their money, because some of the problems may be that they do not know how to properly manage their monies in order to get all of their obligations, including tithing, taken care of. And so I truly believe that it is insensitive and ungodly sometimes when we look at somebody, what they produce or lack of what they produce, and we judge them because we don't see them step up to the plate, but we don't ask them what is going on. So the question really is, are you really concerned about God business? Because first and foremost, I am God's business. The members is God's business. And so if you're concerned about God business and not just God money, then you would behave differently. I would like to think. And so we see, let's be honest about it, that there is a greed in too many churches. This greed is affecting the churches and Christians so much until, like I said, it is causing unbelievers to stay away, because unbelievers are saying they only in it for the money. They only want to collect offering and tithes and then do with it whatever they want to do with it. That's how the unbelievers are looking at the church and Christians and members of the church. They look at us like we are fools, just carrying our money, sometimes our last, and we are not even being taken care of. When we give our last, nobody give their last back to us. That's how unbelievers are seeing this play out. And what could you say to someone who's an unbeliever who tells you point blank, you wasting your time paying your tithes, you wasting your time going to church because this and that and the next thing? How do you defend it? There is too much churches that are only taken from their members are not interested in their members' welfare. Sad to say. And so I am not gonna go long any longer on tithing. But for me, I know in many cases that I believe in following God's ordinance and laws. And I am a payer. But there are times in my life where I, like I said, didn't have money to give. But I gave my time and I gave my effort, you know, by doing stuff, showing up to do stuff, to complete tasks at the church, showing up to clean the church or do whatever it is. Or you understand what I'm saying? Making sacrifices and doing this and doing that. I made a commitment to myself that since I don't have the money, because, or say I'm out of a job, I make a commitment that I will go to church and I will clean the church, or I would do this, or I would do that. I make a commitment that I would go and minister for this amount of time to people, evangelize to people. But here I am. I'm just saying this now for example now. I'm using me. But here I am doing all of this. And then when I go to church, I'm just saying now for example, I'm just using me as an example, as a demonstration to make my point clear. When I go to church, I'm being yelled at and talked down to from the pulpit in front of everybody saying that I'm not paying my tithe. So if someone is not paying their tithes, is yelling at them and getting mad at them uh, for God money gonna bring the tithes into the offering pan? No, no. So that strategy is not gonna work. You are wasting your time trying to make people feel bad in order to bring money into the offering pan. It is proven that if you um if people are comfortable with how you manage money, they would have no problem investing in you. They would have no problem bringing their monies to the offering pan. And so people, leaders, leaders need to themselves educate themselves on not just educating their members on how to budget and how to spend their money wisely, but they themselves need to be educated on how to approach their members in their particular areas and in their particular situation, in their particular struggle when it comes to paying tithes or any financial obligation as a member. I hope that you understood um, what I said, and I hope that it was helpful to you. Shouting at somebody about their tithing and trying to make them feel bad is not going to work. It's not going to work. You have to find better strategies and you have to educate yourself on how to deal with these things, because the truth of the matter is that church is a business. Church is a business and it needs money in order to run properly. It needs money to run efficiently, you know. So that's my take on tithing. That's my take on tithing. And one more thing I want to add about tithing. The thing about it is, if you have little money, the best thing to do is to take out that, if you can, take out your 10% first. And even if you don't have enough to pay your bills, don't worry about it. Just take out your tithes first. Don't say, well, I ain't have enough anyway to pay these bills, so I can't pay tithes. You know, pay the tithes first, and then whatever left, then you split with you put a little bit on the light, you put a little bit on the telephone, or whatever it is, obligations you have, child fee, college fee, or whatever it is. Um, yes. So that is what I think I know about tithing. Um, yes. So that's all because I've run on quite a bit. Not as long. I didn't want to stay this long talking about this topic, and so I'll end this video right here. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment box below. Like the video and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Thank you. Love you. Peace out and goodbye.